Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back for another update on construction progress going on around the Disneyland Resort, and we are starting at the McCain Friends parking structure, looking at the new Clio. Last week I asked the question, what are those white things for that they're putting on the parking structure? And I don't know why I didn't realize this before, but those are for foliage for plants that they're going to hang, just like they do in front of the current McCain Friends structure, which I didn't remember that they did that. But look at this, guys. Even more fun is, I don't know what it is about dirt and them moving dirt around. I just love it. But they've dug up some channels down there in the ground. Looks like they're getting ready for a final phase on that part of the progress. I wonder what they're going to put down there. Is that just for drainage? And there's more across the way over by the guest hub. They're doing some more over there. I got to figure that this is, you know, home stretch type stuff that they're working on. Drainage probably, right? And there's the current status on the escalators. Now it would have been cool if they had just gone ahead and done the slippy slide and then put like a pool at the bottom of each one where guests could, you know, land safely in a pool of crisp, clean water on a hot summer day. I think that would have been lovely. I don't know why they didn't go that route. Instead, just boring old escalators. Think outside. Blue sky. What happened to blue sky? There you go, that's the parking structure. Let's go to DCA, where Jessie has gotten herself a friend, a cactus. Now, this was kind of a surprise to me. I was not expecting a cactus. I know we were getting a Jessie, and you can tell that from the concept art, which we're going to see right now. I don't see a cactus in that concept art, do you? I don't see a cactus anywhere. I don't see a cactus in this concept art either. Somehow they decided, you know what that needs? Cactus. Grizzly River Run looks to be almost back up and running. You can see that there's the tracks are now moving, and the what do we call it? The water wheel is moving. Well, that's great. It was great to hear that sound of the moving tracks again. Slid over to the left, and you can see the water's back, which looks great, rushing through the Grizzly River Run. A friend of Fresh Baked, a fan that we ran into, said he saw a raft out there, so we're going to keep an eye out for that. Found this tree. Was that tree always there? No, you know, a fallen tree. I don't know why I noticed that, but I was like, that's interesting that they... I mean, that's great Disney theming, either way, if it wasn't there or not. It's the kind of thing that you don't notice always, but when you do notice it, you're like, that's really cool. I really like that they put a fallen tree there. But everything seems to be up and running. Looks great. Looks very refreshing. I want to go for a ride right now on the Grizzly River Run. real bad. Oh, we found one. There's a raft. It was funny, there's some guests walked by and they're like, what is that guy filming? And one of the kids said, invisible guests? They don't know that I'm doing construction updates. It did look weird for me to be filming a raft, I guess. Let's get on the Pixar pal around and check out what's happening with Marvel Land. There is some progress to be seen this week. Okay, so remember they were building a little wall. I don't know what they were building, to be honest, but whatever it was, it looks like they're done. Matter of fact, I couldn't even figure out where to point the camera, so there it was last week. And the forms that they're putting up are fairly small now when you look at it compared to the other wall. So when we come back this week, it was difficult for me to spot it, you know. I'm like, are they done? Because you can't hardly see it now because the concrete is up and it just blends in with the ground down there. But I'm guessing that's the extent of it there. So I don't know what the function of that wall is or is going to be, or if there's more to it than that. But there you go. Otherwise, things appear to be about as they were from last week. Let's continue. One of these days, we're gonna have to go on the. We're gonna have to do the Frozen show. We don't generally do that ever because it's such a time eater. It takes, I don't know, a solid hour and a half to do the whole thing, maybe 2 hours. So we'll stop here. This is last week, just to see what's happening. Almost identical. I mean, it's not often that I get the camera in just the right angle at just the right depth, you know, in terms of magnification. But I sure did this week, and the only thing that appears to have changed is they brought in that bobcat to dig up some more dirt. They're moving some more dirt around, obviously. A little bit of a longer view this time. Now here's something that's interesting. Let's stop here for a second, because on this day, I noticed that more demo hut occurred to the right of this row of trees right here. For the longest time since we've been doing this, those trees, in my eyes, represented the boundary of the Marvel Land construction. I went back and looked many weeks to see if I ever saw anything beyond. I never pointed the camera to the right of those trees. But today, when we're in this longer view, I happened to notice more dirt moved, and I'm like, is that a new development? And it is kind of, yes. And that's the reason why I never moved the camera past those trees, is because there's nothing, you could never see anything happening on that side. But you'll recall a while back, I'm like, I wanted to see what was happening backstage as a possible venue for further Marvel Land expansion. So I said, hey, let's pay attention to what's happening to backstage, and I got this shot. And you can see that behind there's those row of trees right there, and behind that was stuff. It's hard to make out what was there before, if it was anything, you know, of consequence or substantial, but there were the trees there. Those trees, it looks to me, are gone. So they are expanding, and again, I feel like this has to be part of the original plan, but they have expanded the perimeter, the boundary of Marvel Land from what I had expected, which is really neat. To me anyway, it's neat that there's more. I'm glad that there's, you know, that we're discovering more for this land, and who knows, maybe it will push in or push out further to you know, backstage areas. More Marvel the better, right? And maybe that's what that black fence right there is. The black fence could be the new, you know, the actual boundary of Marvel Land. We're going to slide back to the left to get one last look at the Bugs Life, or Bugs Life Theater. And we've got new piles of dirt. So that's exciting. When you see a pile of dirt, that dirt had to come from somewhere, right? So they dug something. They dug something and they moved the dirt over there. I love that. Let's turn around. Emotional Whirlwind. What we're going to be seeing now, we're kind of getting closer to the finish line on this as well. What we're seeing now is that they finished the concrete pouring, and now it's all the vertical stuff that's going to start happening. The actual new construction, which is exciting. There's where we are right now with that build out that they're doing on the edge of the attraction space. But again, let's take a look at the concept art. I still can't discern. I mean, I'm assuming that, like, I still can't discern what it is. The shape doesn't jive with the shapes that I'm seeing in the concept art. Like, for me, I want to place this thing somewhere in there, but I don't think we're there yet. And again, it's just my lack of, you know, imagination when it comes to construction progress or construction work. I wish I was better at that kind of thing. Because I find it fascinating that people are able to have, you know, the vision to conceive and then execute. It's just, I find that so impressive. So to me, to my simple mind, you know, I'm trying to figure out where that thing is, and then I can maybe figure out the rest. I just can't place it. I can't place it in this space. But let's continue. Always trying to see if I can, you know, figure out what's happening. Boy, you know what? It's going to be great to see some not ugly green canopies for the queue right there. That's all I'm saying. I'm looking forward to that day. Because I really can't stand that color. By the way, if you want to know what Silly Symphonies looks like under refurb, there you go. We didn't look here last week because I didn't even realize last week that it was being refurbed. But there you go. That's kind of an interesting. You never really get to see an attraction from this perspective, mid refurb, and it's a lot like the site that we see right now for Emotional Whirlwind, with the center and then things happening around it. There's not a lot going on with the Silly Symphony Swings though in terms of theming. You know, there's not a lot of things happening. It's just the swing, basically. But there you can see that is that the center pole right there? It looks like they built a swing set, you know, because construction workers, they probably get tired of constructing all day, and they want to take a break. And when that time comes, they can sit there and they can swing, and it's a big swing too. So you could fit a few construction workers on there, and they can have a good time. Maybe have some lemonade. So I thought that was very thoughtful of Disney to put a swing set in on the Silly Symphony construction site. Attaboy. Let's head over to Disneyland, where the Mark Twain queue, I guess, is being worked on. Last week we thought, oh, it's just paint and trim, but it looks like they are doing some digging here as well, just like we saw at the construction site. They're doing something there. You know, I don't know what, but they've dug out the flooring. If anybody wants to educate us on that, what they might be doing there, what the purpose of digging that channel out would be, I'm assuming again in conduit or drainage or something like that. But why it was necessary, who knows? And I'm guessing they're probably going to have to pour new concrete now, so that'll be fun. And maybe they're going to make a new. That'd be cool if we get like a new cool creative texture there, as opposed to just the plain concrete. But we'll see. Let's head over to Astro Orbiter. Take a look there as soon as Mickey gets out of the way. And there it is. You can see more pieces have come in. They've installed more parts to the Astro Orbiter. It should be back and live in no time whatsoever. Looking the same. I would have loved it if they didn't put that old, that steampunk look. Over at Autopia, they've got some walls up here. It looks like they're. I can't tell. I can't get high enough to see what's happening over it. Maybe if we're on the Matterhorn, I might be able to get a shot from that, but I don't know if it's. We'll see. One thing I can tell you, they definitely have taken out some trees, which bums me out. Hopefully they put those back. But whatever they're doing, I'm wondering if it's part of the, the narrowing the walkways, or widening the walkways again, I should say. Here's a look at Sleeping Beauty Castle. They are working vigorously on this castle. There's lots of stuff happening here. They've got scaffolding up all over. You can see, up to me, the colors there on that turret. Is that, no, that's not a turret. Yeah, turret. They do look fresher. Things look a little fresher, a little more cleaner up there, as far as I can tell through the scaffolding. It looks like new paint to me. Meanwhile, if we slide to the right, there's another turret. There's another word there. I cannot think of what that word is I'm looking for the actual blue thing. I'm drawing a blank, but those guys are mid-paint job right now, which is great. Let's watch these guys paint for a second. It's so happy. It makes me so happy to see fresh paint. I love it. Thanks, Disney. Alright, we got some knotholes. Let's see if we can't see anything through the knotholes. Looks like they have definitely putting some new paint on those concrete benches out in front of the bridge. And elsewhere, perhaps? It looks to me like is it just the trim that they're working on? That's why they, where the covering is, they're covering the, that's to protect the colored parts of it, and they're painting the trim, right? Okay, here's that area that they are working on at New Orleans Square, that large swath of walkway that I'm assuming they're going to narrow this, but who knows. But nothing new has happened there this week. And I did want to confirm that they brought back the canopy over French Market, and you could tell that is definitely a newer, brighter green canopy. The other one was dull and faded. And with that, we'll end our update this week. Thanks for watching, guys. Do make sure to stay tuned tomorrow for our Galaxy's Edge update, as always. And until then, see you next time. Fresh bite! We've got lots more videos for you to see, so grab a churro and check out some of our other videos and have your mind blown by how much fun we're having. We truly are the best of Disney Bake Fresh Daily. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you next time. Fresh baked!